Hello.
Hello, nice to see you again.
Nice to see you too. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you. Yeah.
Your hair color changed, right? Right.
No, I just usually have my hair tied back so you don't see
Yeah,
it. Yeah. But it's a bit cold today, so I have my hair down to keep
yeah.
my
You
head
look
like
great.
warm.
You look
Thank you.
great.
Thank you so much. Okay, I see you have the lesson open. Do you want to start with this lesson?
Yes.
Start from the beginning?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so do you recycle?
Yeah, I recycle sometimes, but yeah, sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Why only sometimes?
Yes. Actually, I'm uh, I'm bothered. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I should recycle. Recycle. I should
Mm-hmm.
recycle more.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so I'm not gonna blame you for not recycling. I
Hmm.
also don't recycle. Um, for me, my lazy answer is because if I'm in a country that doesn't recycle, then there's
Hmm.
no point
Ah,
for me to recycle. Um,
yeah.
because I travel
Ah,
all the time, right?
yeah.
Um,
But I um, uh, our apartment you use recycling area. So I
mhm,
almost things my almost items and the garbage and box. Yes,
mhm.
box delivery box. Uh, Delivery. I get the delivery box every time. I I recycle.
Mhm. I try to keep my plastic and my paper separate.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so when I will throw away my garbage, unfortunately, most of the time when I'm in, especially here, I'm in
Yeah.
Tunisia right now, there's
Mm-hmm.
only one garbage can outside. So I have to put
Uh-huh.
all of my garbage into the same can. So even if I recycle, the government doesn't. So
Uh-huh. I
so
understand. Uh-huh.
yeah, so that makes me feel a little bit like then what's the point?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but my little boy loves tuna can.
Mhm.
Tuna can. So our home has lots of empty tuna can, but after every meal, I wash it tuna can and dry, and then I I should take the recycling area.
Mhm. Well, you do amazing then if you actually wash the can, because
Mm-hmm.
most people who recycle, they don't even think about that. They just throw the
Mm-hmm.
can in the recycling box with the paper without washing, and
Yeah,
that it cannot be recycled that way. You have
yeah,
to take off the paper and wash it. So I think you do a good job.
yeah.
Hmm. I don't, even for me, I don't think I have ever washed a can before putting it into the recycling.
Mm-hmm.
I'm too
Yeah,
lazy. Um,
I understand you.
mhm. Yeah. Back home in my home country in South Africa, we do recycle. And the recycling companies will come different days of the week to pick up
Mm-hmm.
different types of trash.
Mm-hmm.
So
Uh-huh.
you have different colored garbage bags for different days based on
Yeah, yeah,
what is inside it.
yeah.
And if you do not put the right garbage into your
Mm-hmm.
bag, the
Yes.
the community that you are living in will be fined by the government. So they cannot
Uh,
pinpoint who did it, but they
mm-hmm.
know the neighborhood or the building that did it because it's on a rotation.
Yeah, yeah. Our recycling area has video, so
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
anyone couldn't put the anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So we should be careful and watch out there.
Yeah. No, it's like recycling is really important. Um, so let's skip number 2, go to number 3.
Mhm.
What are the benefits of recycling?
Mm. Oh, yeah. I think mm, that benefit is pre- mm, prevent prevented to waste resource. I think so.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, definitely. That is a benefit.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
there's also there's an economic benefit where you don't have to waste money on manufacturing new things if you can
Hmm.
reuse some of the previous things.
Yes.
And then the environmental impact,
Hmm.
where if you're recycling, then things are not ending up polluting nature.
Yes.
Mm. However, that doesn't always work out because in my home country last week, we had the
Hmm.
problem where, so when they recycle the plastic water bottles, the
Hmm.
recycling companies will melt the plastic and then make little plastic balls
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
send those balls back to the factories to make new bottles, right?
Hmm.
So something happened in South Africa where the the process of shipping these little tiny balls back to a manufacturing company, something happened to the ship and these balls ended up in the ocean and it
Oh
washed
yes.
out on our beaches. And
Oh
so
my. Hmm.
all the local people had to volunteer to take like their kitchen equipment colanders, and
Yeah.
when we cook pasta we use the colander to drain the pasta. So
Hmm.
all over South Africa on the beaches, people volunteered to go
Hmm.
to the beach with their colanders to sieve the sand so that they can get the plastic out of the sea sand.
Oh yes. Oh, that's
um,
seriously. But volunteer save the earth around your hometown.
Yeah, absolutely. So for about 2 weeks, there are people, normal people. My sister has gone, my brothers have
Hmm.
gone, my cousins. They're just taking their own kitchen equipment to go to the beach, and they're sieving the beach because every day they clean it, and then tonight
Hmm.
more wash out of the ocean. So tomorrow they have to clean it again. Um,
Wow, awesome.
yeah. So recycling doesn't always go perfectly, right? Because
Yeah.
these were bottles being recycled that has now
Yeah.
caused pollution.
Hmm. Oh,
Um,
your accent is like your accent looks like American accent, but your hometown. I saw your profile. Your hometown is Africa. I'm
yes.
so amazed. Yeah.
So I'm from South Africa. South
Mhm.
Africa is an English-speaking country.
Mhm.
We have 11 different languages, but our main language is English.
Yeah.
And our native accent sounds more British. So
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
I was growing
I know. Yeah. I know.
yeah, but because I've been working internationally for the last
Mhm.
10 years,
Yes.
my accent has adjusted to a more American international standard. Um,
You change it in your intention, right?
yes, because
Mhm.
um, my very first job,
Mhm.
before I left South Africa, before I was a teacher, I
Mhm.
was working for an American nonprofit organization in South Africa. And
Mhm.
I found that a lot of the younger American volunteers that were coming to
Ah.
South Africa,
Yeah.
they couldn't understand our native accents.
Yes.
Um, Even though South African accents are not difficult to understand, it's not Indian or
Yes.
Australian. We have a
Mhm.
neutral, but they still couldn't understand. So I
Mhm.
had to start changing how I speak so that these people could understand me. Um,
Mhm.
then when I moved to China, because I lived in China for 8 years, and Chinese people want to learn the American accent.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I had to adapt my accent
Mm-hmm.
again. And so
Ah.
over the years, it just became more natural.
Mm-hmm.
Um, However, I do code switch. So code switching is when you talk in a different accent based on
Mm-hmm.
who you are talking to. So if I talk to my family, I do still use my more native British sounding accent. But
Mm-hmm.
when I
Yeah.
talk to my students or to my friends, I speak in a more American sounding accent.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, likewise, in my country, um, other areas accent is different with in Seoul. So almost other from other cities, people change it to change it to in Seoul accent. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I understand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I've noticed recently that even though
Mm-hmm.
I do sound more American, there are
Yeah.
certain words that I still pronounce in my original native accent. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing with one of my students here in Cambly. I'm doing accent training. He's
Mm-hmm.
Japanese and he wants to
Ah,
improve his
yes.
accent and pronunciation. So I have a course that I've designed specifically to help him do that. And as we're working through the course, I have realized that there are actually quite a few words that
Yeah, yeah.
I don't pronounce in an American way.
But I think it's better to change your accent because uh, almost Asia people prefer American accent
Yeah,
usually. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and I think for Asian people specifically, American accent is much
Mm-hmm, yeah.
easier to
Yeah.
learn,
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
um, especially when we come to the R pronunciation, the R L situation. I'm not sure about
Mm-hmm.
Korean, but I do believe that Korean, like based on having heard Korean spoken, there
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
enough pronunciation similarities between Korean
Mm-hmm.
and Mandarin Chinese
Yeah.
that it would probably be similar.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's just much easier to copy American pronunciation than it is to copy British pronunciation.
Oh yeah.
The vowel sounds and
Yeah.
some of the consonants. It's
I think British accent is so cool, but that's too hard to understand. So I prefer American accent. Mhm.
mhm. Yeah, and so that's exactly why when I'm working, my natural instinct is to speak in the American accent now. And sometimes I have a hard time switching back. Like if I'm working and
Mhm.
maybe between classes my brother calls me, then
Mhm.
my brother will be like, "Why are you talking in an American accent?" Like
Yeah.
because that's where my brain is right now because that's my job accent.
Yes. I when I learned from you first time, I I'm naturally you are American, but
Mhm,
today I saw your profile again. Oh, you're from of Africa, so
mhm.
I think you had lots of effort to change your accent.
It
So
wasn't,
awesome. Hmm.
yeah, so it wasn't actually that much effort for me
Hmm.
because I grew up bilingual.
Hmm.
So I
Ah,
speak different languages and
yes.
I have a better ability because of that to switch different sounds,
Hmm.
different pronunciations.
Yes.
Um, but also I'm lucky that I have a natural talent for acting. And so learning accents is much easier for me than it is for other people because
Hmm.
I'm quite talented in performance. I'm a trained opera singer, and I
Hmm.
spent most of my high school years doing
Yeah.
theater. Um, so it wasn't that hard for me to do it, I have to admit,
Yeah,
but
I
it
imagine.
is
Yeah,
hard for other
Oh,
people.
yeah, exactly. I imagine my next week. I'm when if my English is fluently and I have perfect English to speak. I will. I think I will change English other accent.